If there's one thing we gardeners love, it's turning everyday junk into something green, living, and wildly useful. And if you've been following soil stories for a while, you already know I'm a huge fan of simple DIY projects that bring big harvests without big spending. Today, I want to share one of my favorite upcycling projects ever, transforming ordinary milk cans into a beautiful, productive two-tier hanging garden packed with fresh greens. This is the kind of project that makes you step back and say, why didn't I do this sooner? Whether you're gardening on a balcony, a small backyard, or even a sunny window area, this setup adds beauty, efficiency, and continuous fresh harvests, all from containers you probably already have lying around. Milk cans may not look like gardening material at first glance, but they're more useful than most beginner gardeners imagine. Their tall vertical shape helps roots grow deeply, resulting in stronger plants. The material is durable, easy to drill, and great for holding soil moisture without waterlogging when handled correctly. What I love most is how adaptable they are. You can grow herbs, leafy greens, strawberries, spinach, sukuma, spring onions, and even compact flowering plants. When stacked into a two-tier hanging system, they save space while adding a decorative, homely, rustic charm that instantly brightens your growing area. If you've been craving a fresh, homegrown harvest but thought you lack space, this project is your perfect gateway. The success of this project starts long before you add soil. Proper preparation determines how well your plants will root, access nutrients, and drain excess water. Start by cleaning the milk cans thoroughly with warm, soapy water. If they previously held anything oily, let them soak a bit longer so no residue interferes with soil health. Once clean, it's time to add drainage. This step is non-negotiable. Using a heated nail or drill, make at least 4 drainage holes at the bottom of each can. Add a few more on the sides, about 2 to 3 centimeters above the base. This prevents water from pooling at the very bottom, reducing root rot risk. Drainage is the lifeline of container gardening, and milk cans need that extra airflow to keep roots healthy. If you want extra insulation for hot climates, you can paint the cans with a light-colored outdoor paint. This helps reduce heat absorption and keeps soil temperatures stable. It's a small tweak that makes a noticeable difference, especially if you're gardening in strong sunlight. Now comes the fun part, turning your individual cans into a space-saving hanging garden. The idea is simple. One can sit slightly above the other, both secured using a strong rope, chain, or wire. This vertical design gives you double the planting space in the same footprint. Start by drilling 2 opposite holes near the top rim of each can. These will be used to attach your hanging rope. If you're using rope, make sure it's sturdy enough to handle the weight of wet soil. This is heavier than most people expect. Nylon rope, jute twine, coated wire, or small chains all work well. Cut your rope into 2 equal lengths. Feed one end through the holes of the top can, knotting securely underneath. Leave enough rope length so the second can hangs at least 20 to 30 centimeters below the first. This spacing prevents the upper can from shading the lower one too much while still creating that beautiful two-tier garden effect. Attach the second can the same way, knotting securely underneath. Finally, tie both rope ends together at the top to form a loop for hanging. Before adding soil, test the entire structure by gently pulling to ensure nothing slips. What you'll love about this setup is how beautifully it moves with the breeze, almost like a living chandelier. And the best part is that it doesn't need much space at all. Container gardening demands a soil mix that drains well while holding enough moisture to keep roots happy. For this setup, avoid using heavy garden soil alone. It compacts easily and suffocates roots. Instead, make a light, airy mix. A simple combination of compost, coco peat, or dry grass cuttings, and sand works beautifully. The compost feeds your plants, the coco peat retains moisture, and the sand keeps the structure loose and breathable. If you have access to well-rotted manure, you can add a small amount for extra nutrients. Fill the cans about 3/4 full, leaving space for watering. If growing leafy greens like spinach or sukuma, enrich the upper layer with a handful of wood ash. It boosts potassium and improves disease resistance naturally. When planting, avoid overcrowding. This is a mistake many gardeners make in excitement. In each milk can, 2 to 3 spinach plants, 4 to 5 lettuce seedlings, or a handful of spring onion clumps fit comfortably. Herbs can be planted in single clusters to prevent root congestion. Water gently after planting, allowing the soil to settle. For the first week, place the hanging system where it receives bright but indirect light. This gives your young seedlings a smooth transition and helps roots establish. By the second week, you can shift the setup to its permanent location, preferably somewhere that receives morning sun and afternoon shade. Greens love gentle sun and cool evenings, making this combination perfect. Keep your cans rotating every few days to ensure the plants grow evenly on all sides. This is a little trick that keeps your garden looking full and symmetrical. Greens grown in containers dry out faster than those in the ground, so keep a consistent watering schedule. Stick your finger into the soil. If the top inch feels dry, it's time to water. During hotter seasons, you may need to water daily. During cooler periods, every 2 days is enough. Feed your plants every 2 to 3 weeks with compost tea or a light, organic liquid fertilizer. Because milk cans are relatively small, nutrients get used faster, so regular feeding ensures your greens grow lush and vibrant. Trim older leaves at the bottom of your plants to encourage fresh growth at the top. With leafy greens, the more you harvest correctly, the more they produce. It's one of the joys of gardening, plants rewarding your attention with abundance. Turning milk cans into a 2-tier hanging garden is one of those projects that gives you beauty, function, and food all in one. It proves that you don't need a big space, or a big budget, to grow your own fresh greens at home. If you enjoyed this DIY guide and you want more creative, practical gardening ideas, make sure you subscribe to Soil Stories and share this article with a fellow gardener. Let's grow together, one upcycle container at a time.